Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another great edition of Sports Etouffee. I'm your host, Logan Graffiet, and on today's show, kind of the hot topic at the water cooler, in a manner of speaking, is the New Orleans Saints head coaching position. Who is the guy going to be? Who's going to be the next head coach? And if you look at the Vegas odds, it can go either way. Now, in Vegas, there is a leader, but sometimes Vegas is wrong. Sometimes Vegas knows things more than we like to think, but I'm just going to give you guys some three coaching candidates that I personally think the Saints should go after should they miss out on Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. So I want to repeat, these are three options if the New Orleans Saints miss out on Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. And starting out is somebody who is actually leading in Vegas odds for the New Orleans Saints right now, who is quite familiar with the state of Louisiana, and that is Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Many people know him from his great one year with the 2019 LSU Tigers, which is the greatest college football team of all time. Fantastic work. Him and Steve Ensminger doing great, incredible work for LSU in 2019. After leaving LSU, he went on to the Carolina Panthers, was the offensive coordinator there for 2 seasons, and I'm not going to fully put it on him with why the offense was so bad. The personnel was absolutely horrible under Matt Rule. The offense was bad. I love Teddy Bridgewater to death, but that offense with the Carolina Panthers was awful. Did not have the right personnel. He's been with the Bills since 2022 as the quarterback's coach. He got named interim offensive coordinator in 2023 and now full-time offensive coordinator in 2024. And if you look at what the Bills are doing this season, Josh Allen is absolutely playing out of his freaking mind. The Bills currently are 11-3, first in the AFC East. Josh Allen is having one of his best years to date. He's done a lot of great work with Josh Allen this year. I mean, Josh Allen has been incredible throughout almost his whole entire career, but if you look at this season, his passing yards are actually down, but his rushing, you would think Josh Allen would have more passing yards this year. His best year yet was in 2020 during the COVID year. Right now, he only 3,300 yards passing, which is insane, but he's playing at an MVP level each and every year, or each and every game of this season. And if you look at the offense for the Buffalo Bills this year, I mean, if you outside of the Detroit Lions, the Buffalo Bills have one of the best offenses in the entire NFL. Brady's proven offensive success in Buffalo these past couple of seasons or past few years he's been there has really helped maintain one of the league's most potent offenses with Josh Allen. And again, familiarity with the state of Louisiana that Joe Brady has already being here. He was also an offensive assistant here under Sean Payton. And from 2017 to 2018, he was here. And then he took that Saints offense, shotgunized it, and brought the LSU in 2019, and the rest is history, greatest college football team of all time. But he is not my personal favorite on the list, but I would not be opposed to it, I should say. So if Joe Brady wants to bring the Buffalo Bills offensive play style here to New Orleans, I'd be okay with that. I would be very curious to see who would be on his staff. Who would be his quarterback coach? Who would be his defensive coordinator? Would he retain Darren Rizzi? The list goes on and on and on. So he has the best odds in Vegas at 3-1 at being the next Saints head coach, with Ben Johnson being the second best odds at 4-1. But next on the list is another young guy, because Joe Brady is 35. You have to go with the youth movement. You have to go with the youth movement, like everyone has been doing. It's the Sean McVay kind of way of things of way of doing things. Sean McVay kind of started the trend of, okay, you got to go get a young guy, and it has worked for the Los Angeles Rams. And I consider Sean McVay a incredible head coach. I love Sean McVay. Is Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, many know this from seeing my social media, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook, how I do not want a defensive head coach. Mind you, this would be the only exception. I know there Mike Vrabel is available, but this would be the only exception because Jesse Minter comes from the Harbaugh tree. Jim Harbaugh tree at that. He was the defensive coordinator at Michigan from 2022 to 2023, also serving as the interim head coach when Jim Harbaugh was suspended to open the 2023 season. It would only be for one game of the season, and it would be a 30-3 win over East Carolina, which is not the greatest of opponents to be playing, but you look at what he's done as a coach defensively, and if you were to go the defensive route for a head coach again, I would think Jesse Minter would be the guy to go after. He's 41 years old, comes from the Jim Harbaugh tree, proven track record. I mean, if you see what he did for Michigan, Michigan last year had one of the best defenses and had the best defense in college football, ranked first in almost every category. And if you look at the Los Angeles Chargers this year under his tutelage, under his leadership, the Los Angeles Chargers are top 5 in almost every defensive category. Almost every defensive category. A track record of player development. I mean, if you look at what he's done this year with Derwin James, he's helping elevate their performances. He has a knack for development talent. And if you want the Saints the Saints kind of need a defensive resurgence. They have a lot of young talent coming in. You have Brian Brzee. You have Kool-Aid McKinstry. You have Jordan Howden. You still got people like Rico Payton kind of climbing up the depth chart. He's an undrafted free agent, young rookie. Carl Granderson's still there. You have a lot of young pieces on the defense who might not be seeing a lot of play time at the moment, but even Alontae Taylor could maybe learn a thing or two from Jesse Minter. And if you look at, I mean, we don't know what the staff would look like for Jesse Minter either. Does he go out and get somebody from college, like say, and this is all hypothetical, would he go out and go get somebody like a Will Stein, who's the offensive coordinator for Oregon at the moment? Or would he go after somebody familiar, maybe like a Mike Hart, who used to be the running backs coach for Michigan? The possibilities are endless. Or would he go after somebody from the Los Angeles Chargers staff? And if you look at the staff right now, the one player, somebody like, a Marcus Brady, who's the pass game coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers, or someone like, Shane Day's a former offensive coordinator. No, not a former offensive coordinator. He's been a quarterbacks coach for a long time. Would not recommend Shane Day, no offense. But, or would you go? Marcus Brady would probably be the only one from this staff that I would go after. And defensively, who would he take from, the Los Angeles Chargers staff? Would he take, you know, Steve Clintsdale, Steve Clintscale from the Los Angeles Chargers? He's the current DB's coach, and he was also the co-defensive coordinator with Minter at Michigan. That familiarity could work, but it's all about what does the personnel look like? Who's going to be the quarterback? Who is going to be the offensive coordinator? Does he go to college or does he go after someone in the NFL that he has familiarity with? Does he bring his dad Rick Mentor with him, who's an analyst, a defensive analyst on the staff for the Chargers? Kind of like how Lane Kiffin would always bring his legendary father Monty Kiffin with him at every stop. We don't know. And one, and moving on to the next one, this is the name I was told to keep an eye out for, and that is 34-year-old head coach of Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham. Currently has Arizona State in the playoffs. Arizona State has struggled to kind of make a comeback since the Herm Edwards administration, even though I was a fan of Herm Edwards when he was there at Arizona State all those years. Since taking over for the Sun Devils, he is 14-11. His first year went 3-9, kind of a rebuilding year for the Sun Devils. And then this year, you see the turnaround for Kenny Dillingham. You see that offense, the creativity, the run game from Scatapo. Does he take his staff with him? Does he take someone like a Marcus or Ario with him? Does he go after someone else to be his right hand man as his offensive coordinator? Because I think Kenny Dillingham does call the plays. The staff is what intrigues me. And Kenny Dillingham being 34, could he be another Sean McVay? We don't know. I mean, his work with at Oregon in 2022, he's offensive creativity, as I mentioned. I mean, his schemes known for high tempo and adaptability. I would be curious to see how that would work with someone like a Spencer Rattler. Or does he go out and maybe get someone like a Dylan Gabriel out the draft? Or someone more mobile? We don't know who that is. The leadership, I mean, the turnaround that Kenny Dillingham has done in 2 seasons, and just a second season at Arizona State, is nothing short of tremendous. And I would be remiss if I didn't say I would be very interested, but you have to understand. He is coaching at his alma mater. He is a Phoenix native. He started he's worked his way up to get to this position to coach at his alma mater. Though so does he leave? I mean, he's worked under people like Mike Norvell. He's worked at Auburn in 2019. He's worked at Florida State. Worked at Oregon in 2022. 34 years old does intrigue me. It does kind of remind me of Sean McVay. I'm not saying he is Sean McVay, but out of all the coaches on this list that I was told to keep an eye out for, Kenny Dillingham is the most intriguing candidate of the bunch. And again, if they do not land Ben Johnson, I would go I would go hard and heavy maybe after Kenny Dillingham. Let Arizona State outbid you. Let those boosters outbid Gale and Mickey's offer. But if that doesn't work, then where do you pivot to? But with that being said, the three names to look out for, from my perspective, would be Joe Brady, Jesse Mentor, who is a dark horse, from what I was told, a true dark horse, and Kenny Dillingham is the most intriguing name on the candidacy list. I would be very happy with Kenny Dillingham as the head coach, but I would be curious to see the for all of them, all three of the candidates, what their staff would look like. Does Kenny Dillingham just bring all of his Sun Devil staff with him? Or does he leave a few behind. I mean, their defense is fairly good. Brian Ward's doing a good job with Arizona State this year. The offense, very balanced, very balanced. He kind of is like a not. I'm not saying he is Sean McVay, but he kind of is like a young up and comer, like Sean McVay was all those years ago. And maybe he can have the same effect as McVay has had on the NFL for the Saints for years to come. So, in order for us to know, we have to keep waiting. January, February is around the corner. And those are the three candidates that intrigue me the most if the Saints should miss out on Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from the Lions. So, to sum it up, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator from the Los Angeles Chargers. And last but not least, Kenny Dillingham, the current head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils. This has been a very good show, you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this YouTube show all across social media. You can find me on Twitter/X at TheSoulMan57. You can also follow the Sports Etouffee Twitter and X page as well at Sports Etouffee. You can find me on Facebook at listen to me at Logan Graphia. Just search my name. I am not hard to find. So until next time, you guys, this has been Sports Etouffee. See you guys later.